Okay. Oh, I forgot to set this one up so it starts whenever I press the button. Who cares? I think it should be fine by now. Let me quickly confirm if the sound is working fine. Should be working fine. I'm not sure if I hear it. Okay. Oh, I forgot to. Okay. Okay. All right. Everything is working fine. That's cool. So apparently we can start. So yeah, my name is Hightech. If you guys don't know yet, and on these live streams, I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market. Regarding 11 years of my experience, I think I can say a, a word of two that could be, okay, all right, because I didn't start here. Yeah, I didn't start here, sorry. Okay, so I have to repeat my formula, my starting formula, because for whatever reason, oh, maybe, okay, I think I know what has happened. Okay, I have to refresh here, yeah, and yeah, exactly, okay. So yeah, once again, I got lost a little bit because of Rumble. Rumble just tricked me into thinking that this live stream has not started yet. But yeah, it has started, so we can go. And yeah, my name is Hightech. On these live streams, I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what I think about it, regarding 11 years of my experience, and in the meantime, between the lines, I explain what high-tech meme coin is and why you might be interested. So yeah, so Jesus is king, and let's go. Yeah, that's my new sentence. That's my new sentence that I involved in intro. And why have I done it? Well, because believe it or not, but Christians right now, in current day and age, is the most repressed group of people in the entire world, on the whole globe. So I oppose that. So it's like a little protest of mine, let's say. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat, and as soon as I notice, of course, I will give you my take on whatever you desire to know. Let me see if actually if here everything is right, but apparently it is. Science and technology. Is it set as science and technology? It should be like that. Where is it? I saw. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's correct. All right. So there we go. So yeah. So we'll hang out here a little bit, talking crypto stuff. So the title of today's live stream is "How to Invest in Crypto." Because quite a lot of people is trying to convince you that we are just about to see a bear market, like we haven't seen one yet. I mean, on outcomes, we've been in a bear market since 2021, to be perfectly honest, if we want to look at it from completely unskewed perspective. So let's say, giving them a benefit of a doubt, we will briefly discuss what kind of projects could, save the day, even if they are right. Although honestly, I do not believe that that is going to be the case. I think that would be extremely weird, to be honest. Is it actually public? I hope this one is public. No, 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 no. I don't see it here. Yeah, it is public. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So by the way, I want to thank you all guys for subscribing to this channel, because just today, actually today is today slash yesterday, or yesterday slash today, this YouTube channel finally crossed 100 subscribers. On YouTube, I finally crossed 100 subscribers. I don't know, have you noticed, but many people, they have that manner of saying we, even if they are the only people running the channel, right? To some extent, I think I can relate to it, but it's incorrect. It's incorrect. I think, whenever you do the job, you should give credit fully to yourself, even if there is a small help, somewhere there laying around. You should contribute it mostly to yourself. So, did I forget about switching the screen at the beginning? Yeah, maybe. Okay, but fortunately, I've done it now. I know I've done one live stream like this before, like literally this for 40 minutes, and then I realized, oh damn. But it's because, as you see here on the right side, in vertical mode, it actually displays it correct, right? Because I don't really have a change of scenes as on the horizontal one, so that's why, yeah, it's easy to get lost a little bit. But yeah. All right. So yeah, so 102 subscribers. That's what we are dealing with. We crossed 100. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully, it opens some doors because you know nobody really knows how this damn algorithm of YouTube works. Some people say that after 100 subscribers, it gets slightly easier to gain followership, to gain reach. This is what this channel has been struggling the most with, to gain the reach, to gain visibility, of course. So that's cool. And again, so now I think we, I entered this stage of actually having a little bit of exposure on the other end of the screen. So on your screens, to be more precise. So that's cool. But now the next step is to get a little bit of interaction, right? Interaction going on, because I've noticed that like it's contrary to my Polish YouTube channel, there is very little activity in the live chat, at least for now. Probably whenever I collect more subscribers, it will change. But yeah, so that's why I will keep cheating you up for writing something in the live chat. Don't get mad at me because of it. And yeah, so what we are dealing with in the crypto market currently, as you may remember if you watched my previous live streams, it's exactly what I predicted, right? This one is quite easy, to be honest. I will not be calling myself, alpha and omega of trading, because this one is just way too easy. To some, it could, appear actually totally opposite, because, the mainstream is calling for literally other way around. But we just had a historical Black Swan event, so I don't know why people, and especially those with years of experience, I don't know why they are betting on the altcoin market going lower from here. I don't think that's correct, to be honest. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they got used to what the altcoin market has been doing for so long that it's very difficult for them to have that switch of mindset from the bearish one into the bullish one. And that ability is quite difficult to acquire when you are trained by the market who persist in that mode for so long. So yeah, maybe that is exactly what we are dealing with. Who knows? But we are having some sort of an uptick right now, as you see, and I believe this will convert into a very, very nice kickoff of the altcoin market. I think this dip, this, let's say, pocket of a dip that we are having right now is going to end up looking like an inverse pattern, and I think we are just about to see it. Maybe even today it will escalate. If not today, then tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, things will gain speed in the right direction, right? Which for the majority right now is the wrong direction, because almost everybody and their mother expect this market to keep trending lower, and that would be very, very weird, to be honest, if it happens. I mean, everything is possible. I tend to say everything is possible, but certain things are improbable, right? So, and generally, it's a good rule, a good practice not to follow things that give you the low odds of probability. So, yeah, S&P 500 gave us a new all-time high today again. I was forecasting it yesterday that probably we will get into a new all-time high fairly soon, and it literally materialized in front of our eyes right here. So that helps to the crypto market greatly, because it shows that, global finance TradFi treats very seriously the valuation of US dollar, right? Everything that is going on with US dollar on governmental side. So Jerome Powell already said they will be cutting interest rates even if inflation moves up, right? So I don't think you need any additional encouraging, let's say, to escape from US dollar, because they literally said, they literally admitted that they will be trashing it, right? So if you don't want to see your bank account melting like an ice cube in upcoming months, you have to look around very well and make a decision where you are moving your capital. How do you convert it into what? Because fiat will eat it up, right? It will melt away if you leave it in fiat. So that message will have to make waves shock. Shockwaves, sorry. English is my second language, forgive me. Shockwaves. It will have to make shockwaves. There is literally zero chance all TradFi or global finance will just ignore it, right? Because at this point you already should know pretty much every single country repeats or copies what US government does. And since your US government just decided, you know what, inflation doesn't matter, we'll be just cutting rates, everyone all over the place will be doing exactly that. So yeah. Hit like and subscribe, by the way, if you stumble upon this live stream just now, and don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, since when I live stream in horizontal mode, I finally get exposure to the other side of the screen. So I decided I will actually stay doing the live stream until I reach at least 100 views. So far I've gained 2. Although here it doesn't show it yet. Yeah, but it will be updating later. So yeah, I mainly stream for Miami in United States. Although I don't know what hour it is, what time it is right now in Miami. Isn't it a little bit too early? Miami, Miami, Miami. It's 6:34 p.m. So yeah, so maybe slightly too early, but yeah, at my time zone it's 1:34 a.m. So I'm not going to wait any longer with it. This live stream will last some time. Anyway, at least 1 hour or so. No pressure. So this picture that we are having right now on the screen, it's of course a good message for the crypto space. I mean, either good or neutral, right? In the worst case, it's neutral. The bad one is if we fall, but we go sideways or we go up here. So yeah, conditions are for us, right? They're favoriting also our side of global finance, and at some point, we'll have to see a capital rotation from S&P, from all of the people that benefit from all of those gains here. We'll have to see at least a tiny capital rotation into the crypto market. And among that, of course, into even smaller crypto projects, some smaller altcoins. That will have to happen. And since, S&P 500 is like, I don't know, 100 times larger than the whole of crypto market, then it's really enough with a little bit of that pie to give us a huge boost. So that's good to have awareness of. If nobody ever told you, the crypto market is really, really small against the traditional side of TradFi. So that's good news, of course. So yeah, on Bitcoin, by the way, I received entry signal today on my algorithm. Let me show it to you right here, as you see. And so far it's in tiny profit. At the beginning, as you see, there was a pullback. It went almost into minus 1%, but right now it remains in profit. But yeah, of course, it can just go sideways a little bit choppy like this. Go into negative again, then back to the positive, into negative again, back to the positive. But since the last trade was lost, it resulted in a loss, then it gives greater probability of this one to be a profitable one. Why? Because the power of pure statistics. The more losses in a row you get, the likelier it is the next one is going to be a good one. Although recent statistics are like one very tiny loss, then 2 wins and 1 loss. So it's like 50-50, right? But considering, the sell-off that happened on October 10th, bulls should be in control right now. So I think the wind is blowing enough, and the speed of the wind is quite decent. You can sail, no problems with that. Okay. So that is the message to me that I was waiting for, my algorithm to let me know things are about to, or at least they want to go the direction I predict it will go. I've been with this algorithm for quite a while already, since 2017, 16. It trades my portfolio in a fully automated manner, so that's been a chunk of time, a decent chunk of time. So I have a great trust in it. I know what are its limitations, right? But yeah, it has demonstrated above any doubt that it is indeed a thing to not to interrupt, right? Not to interrupt it. Whenever this one tells you something, you should just trust it and leave it the F alone, because overall you're going to be very well, very well off with it. So right now, judging by, let's say, the daily candle, it still does not look like something huge is around the corner, especially if you're not very experienced, if you don't really know what you should pay attention to. But having just received that entry signal on my algorithm, it gives me an extra boost of confidence that things are going to be fine. What I'm waiting for right now, of course, is additional confirmation, which already give me sky high confidence in form of entry signal on hourly candle. If we get that one, then the probabilities increase like at least by 100%. We are moving much higher, right? And I said it so many times already, but let me repeat it once again. If we don't get 150K per Bitcoin this year, I will be blown away. to be honest. I'll be very, very surprised. Anything can happen, but I think it will be weird. So, by the way, guys, if you watch this live stream, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and of course, write me in the live chat. Right? I mean, I set it up the way anybody, even those that do not subscribe to the channel, should be able to write in the live chat. So I always, like when there is interaction with my viewers. So go ahead. Don't be shy. Go ahead. If you have, I don't know, any doubts, if you need an advice, let's say, I'm here for you. I've been in this game for 11 years. So that's the, let's say, strong point of this YouTube channel, that I do only live content. Aside from shorts, of course, because shorts cannot be really, really live. Aside from live streaming in shorts format, right? As I do right now, but that's not really shorts. Other than that, it is only live content, and whatever shorts I generate later on, those are actually teasers. They show more or less how live streams look, just so people get familiar with the format and decide for themselves if they want to participate in the real thing, in the live stream itself, right? So that's why if you're already a subscriber and you see a material, a repetitive material, let's say, that was already in the live streams, because it's just kind of advertising the live stream itself, right? So forgive me that. But you know what? Let's talk about why I titled this live stream as I did. So how to invest in crypto, right? So giving a benefit of a doubt to those, let's say, those that call for a bear market right now, one of the most nurturing questions would be, okay, so what do I do now? Do I short the market? Do I open a thick short and ride it into zero and make money that way? No, that is very unsafe to do, because this is a hugely volatile market. To see a plus 100% pump in here, it's definitely not anything uncommon, meaning that even if you do X1 or 1X short, you are still under a very real threat of getting totally liquidated. And don't tell me about stop losses, because stop losses are not guaranteed to work, right? Every single exchange does not, whatever exchange you use, that exchange does not guarantee you your stop loss will trigger when it's supposed to trigger. It all depends on market conditions, right? So if you're very unlucky, even with X1, 1X leverage shorting, you can get liquidated. That's why I always tell you guys to stay away from it, because you're not making the rules. You are literally at somebody's fork, and it's just that somebody's decision. Are you going to get eaten or not, right? Today. Because at some point you will get eaten anyway if you stay on futures market. So is there any other way to make money in this market? Yeah, there are ways. There are ways, and since we've got very capable DEXs, so decentralized exchanges, I think right now that's one of the strongest point of the crypto market, if you know how to use it well. Why? Because that allows to that allows a creation of some small projects with small capitalizations, with their own advertising, with their own, let's say, tokenomics, with their own use case, and those assets are not listed on big exchanges. I don't know, even medium size exchanges. Hence, they do not have the respective futures market, and that's a huge thing. if there is a project that is somewhat decent, it has already even a small community. There is some, I don't know, idea behind it. It has a long-term perspective, right? It has a marketing team, a consistent marketing team, and there is some vision for it, right? The fact that it is not listed on a tier one exchange, that's a huge plus, especially for upper market. Why? Because the fact it has no, it doesn't have, it's perpetuals. It's perpetuals market. It's futures market. It means it cannot be manipulated by someone who we could call a market maker, right? So that means there is no betting side of this specific market, of that asset, of that coin, of that token. So they won't be, an entity that will be, wiping out everyone left and right, betting on this coin going up, betting on this coin going down. And that hugely influences how the spot market behaves, right? Usually in a way that is very difficult to read, especially for someone who has no experience in trading. And it just spoils the price action, right? That's the biggest spoiler of price action that you could ever come across. So if a project is small, highly likely it will not have it. So it will behave in much more organic way, meaning that the more people are interested in it, the more price will rise. On, let's say, mature markets, it happens actually other way around, which is very counterintuitive, because usually, especially in the crypto space, give certain markets, they grow before they gain interest. Why? Because it's fueled by market makers. They create the pump just so they call for retail to come and receive the bugs from them, right? At very, very hefty prices. And so let's say if you focus on those projects on dexes that have, very good paperwork, let's say, and they don't have their leveraged, margin, let's say, a side of the market, it will behave like crypto in 2016, 2017, before futures market came to this space. And back then, if you know the history, the pumps people were experiencing were absolutely batshit crazy, right? Literally. Like it was so easy to make money back then. You didn't have to know anything. You were just throwing money at whatever and it was growing, right? And that's specifically because of that reason. There was no futures market for the crypto space. And that is still present, but in certain corners of the space, right? In order to find those markets, you have to visit DEXs. And so that is a huge component. Lack of futures market, small capitalization, some kind of marketing to at least create brand awareness, because if no one who knows about certain coin, who will buy it? Nobody will buy it, right? It's good if it belongs to a completely new category. That's very good, because it means it gives you a first mover advantage, right? So for example, Bitcoin was first of its category. It had first mover advantage, and look where it is right now, right? It went from zero to $111,000 in what, 16 years. Absolutely crazy result, right? Ethereum the same. Ethereum was the first of its category, and it's really hard to discuss how good performance it had from the very beginning, right? From the launch day, right? I hope guys you don't hear. Okay, because there was some alarm outside. Somebody's car started to sound and the alarm. Okay, but it stopped. So good. So that is also a very big component, right? Whenever you consider allocating whatever amount of money into such a project that you just found on a DEX exchange. And long-term perspective is also very important. Like, does it really have a long-term perspective? How convincing the evidence is behind this thing lasting longer than, I don't know, few weeks, few months? Like, what's the narrative behind it, right? Does it make sense? So if you find a project that fulfills all of those requirements I just mentioned, then the odds for that investment playing out in your huge favor are sky high, really, really high. And to be perfectly honest, I know of one project that fulfills literally every single one of those demands, let's say, and that is literally the project I present here, right, which is Hightech. So this is a kind of a managed meme coin where the um, it has attached influencer in the package to it that decided to make it his own indirect stock market. So that's a completely new approach. So hence we are creating I am creating a new category of a coin, right? So that requirement is satisfied because I identify with this asset. It's also a long-term perspective because my brand is directly attached to it. So that's another requirement fulfilled. Very small capitalization because the factual capitalization is the size of the liquidity pool. That's like $25,000 on both sides, buy and sell. Another requirement satisfied, and access to large amount of capital, instant access to large amount of capital. That's actually another requirement I don't remember if I mentioned about it, because if there is, if there is, let's say, a small cap coin listed on big exchange, the minus is that it has its futures market, probably, most likely. The plus is it has instant access to huge capital size because it's within the ecosystem of the exchange. So whenever systems notice, okay, this small coin is pumping, they may decide to join the pump and pump it 100 times, over. So since this one is on Radium, which is a reputable Solana DEX, it has that comfort, right? It has, and on Solana in general, Solana is a very fast network. It's very easy to. There's pretty much no walls for, let's say, stablecoins to flow around, to fly around. Sorry. So it satisfies that requirement too. So yeah, the tutorial to how to get it on your Phantom wallet, let's say, you'll find in the description section of this live stream. So don't go too crazy because this is a small project yet. So like $1 adds to $1, $2, $3 of allocation, I think is reasonable enough. You don't have to, go bigger than that, and just let it sit, right? Let it sit. Let me talk about it. Let me spread brand awareness. Let me build it. Right? Let me explain people what it is all about. Right? So yeah. So here, as you see, what we have in front of our eyes is how the altcoin market has been behaving so far today. Very green. Some coins I don't really trade, like XBT, unfortunately. Eden, I don't trade that one. Virtual, I don't trade that one neither. But Jupiter, I do trade. I mean, many of these I do trade, but this is nothing spectacular yet, of course. But Jupiter, yeah, Jupiter is on the move because I've seen it. It has done something today, at least. Let's switch over there. And by the way, Jupiter is also a Solana aggregator, and you can find You can find high tech on Jupiter, although I do not recommend it because it shows a lot of messages. What Jupiter has done recently, they try to protect people from scams, which I understand perfectly well. Uh, but they overdo it. They slightly overdo it, right? Because, like, for example, I launched high tech. I think it was 23rd of March or something, and they haven't taken away even one warning. They like punched me with 11 warnings, and the age of the coin apparently does not play a role there. So that's harming. That's how it will be harming. To be honest, that's not cool. So that's why I recommend Radium, because Radium is much more, let's say, justifiable with the developers, with creators, let's say. So yeah, as you see, nothing crazy so far, but yeah, it got hit this move early, quite early, +6%. Nothing outside of the ordinary, nothing crazy, nothing to boast about just yet. But when we go over to larger time frame, then probably we have quite a lot of room for growth here. To be honest, I haven't revised it yet, and it keeps pushing up. That is the part I like, of course. Oh yeah, yeah, it has a lot of room for growth, because considering as a possibility that we regain some of those highs, let's say from this area, that's already over 200%, right? Which probably we will, because the environment, the ambient is becoming better and better generally for the crypto space. At least, at least at the beginning, I think it will give a huge boost to overall crypto market. I don't know exactly how, for example, that the crypto's structure bill will be looking, like what they're actually trying to regulate there. I'm not sure. Is it going to be anyhow harming, or I don't know, boosting the space? We have to wait and see. But probably at the beginning it will be quite light, I'm guessing. And if they are about to break it, it will happen later on. They'll most likely keep adding stuff to an extent in which people will be just moving places, moving to another jurisdictions outside of US, because that is what always happens. Someone tries to be innovative and creates very lightweight regulations, and later they keep adding and adding and adding, and at the very end of the day they end up scaring people away. So that's what I think will happen, as it always happens, right? Well, today the frequency is not the best, to be honest, because I see I have scored 23 views so far. Earlier today it was much better. I had 150 fairly quickly. The goal is to get to 100, but I'm live streaming. How long am I live streaming? 38 minutes. Okay, so maybe it will get slightly better later. We'll see. Guys, if you have any questions write me in the live chat, and it's always cool whenever you do. Although on this channel so far it has been rare for anybody to write anything, but I'm guessing it's because of the size of this channel. It's still very small, so that's why I'm not I'm not crying over it just yet. Maybe sometime later. So yeah, I like what we are seeing here. The outcome market is slowly picking up here, judging by how it is interacting with these levels of support, the zone of support, bands of support. It looks very promising, to be honest. It looks very, very promising. It should give us a very nice pump. Sometime within literally days, couple of days, not any longer. Next week must be extraordinary. With a setup like this, after a huge dump, Black Swan event, once in a lifespan, current lifespan of this whole market, never, it hasn't, what happened on October 10th has not happened before yet. That was the first occurrence of something like that. So market must be, just must be. I don't know what let's say indicators you use, but if they do not show this market has been historically at maximum oversold levels, then I advise you to change it because it shows you wrong. It literally shows you wrong. It's fooling you. It does not give you the real picture of current situation. So yeah, share, like, and subscribe, guys. If you stumble upon this live stream somewhere on the internet, share, like, and subscribe. don't don't wait with it because once I'm done, and probably will not find this channel again, and that would be sad. So yeah, let's take a look at the things we usually look at. But no, actually, I'm wrong because since I already talked it over earlier today, this one will not change for another hour, so it makes no sense actually. But maybe this one makes sense, which is liquidation heat map. This one could be readjusted to something close to a real time. Let's see. All right, there's a slightly lighter green above the price, so looks like there is more and more liquidity concentrating above current price action, which is again much more encouraging for market makers to go up rather than go down. So that's cool. Okay, let's take a look what has happened on X since the last time I live streamed this morning. I mean, to me it was morning. In my time zone, it wasn't morning anymore. It was actually early afternoon. Planning Bitcoin. President of the United States signing an executive order to make America a Bitcoin and crypto capital. This changed everything. But I think that's recent. That's probably old news already. Crypto Goose. The Federal Reserve's reverse repo facility is collapsing. Once it drains to zero, expect aggressive quantitative easing and money printing to begin. Bullish for crypto. You heard it. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way this usually happens. The road to SmartCon starts now. SmartCon? What is that? What others announced in a year, we are shipping in 3 weeks. A rapid expansion of Chainlink's massive ecosystem, converging TradFi and DeFi. Each week builds on the last, with all roads leading to SmartCon. Follow along to stay in the know. I have no idea what they are talking about, but yeah, good for them. They keep working on their token, on their ecosystem. Chainlink is actually a company, believe it or not. Just a tokenized company. Solana too. Solana is a competitor to Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia in a sense, and many other companies that do cloud computing and cloud storage for a living. So it's just a slightly more decentralized version of it. It's good to know. It's good to know what you are dealing with because in all of that nomenclature that you're not familiar with, it's easy to get lost. How big is Bitcoin? Amazon 2.2, Apple 3 trillion, Alphabet 2.1, and Bitcoin right now 2.1. So Bitcoin right now is of the same size as Google, which is Alphabet here. It's funny they call themselves Alphabet because why I consider it funny because there is that part of population that we could call people of the alphabet of global population that and they are very let's say for them for that part of global population. So that's why it's kind of funny. Maybe that was the idea behind changing the name of their company to Alphabet after all. Justin, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says, I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. Uh, it's not very visible, at least yet. Maybe there are some advanced plans to do it that way, but so far it's definitely difficult to notice, to be honest. Although, having said so, I know for a fact I have a position in XRP right now, even though I don't like it. Why? Because they have been very, let's say, dishonest with their investors in the past. But I know, yeah, I know I'm in a trade on XRP right now. It's plus 1.85%. So again, nothing crazy. It just opened several hours ago, and let's see how it's going to perform. Probably well because we are at this part of the year everything pumps, so XRP will pump too. Guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat. As soon as I notice, I will give you my take on whatever you are interested in regarding the crypto market, of course. I mean, if you are curious about myself, yes, some things I can tell you, some things I will not tell you because of security concerns. But yeah, feel free. Feel free to ask whatever you want. Actually, if I don't know or I don't want to answer, I will tell you. That's it. Full respect. Bitcoin.com. Blockchain data shows a strong correlation between blockchain revenue and token prices, with Solana leading the pack. Yeah, of course. I mean, how else? How there is no going to be any correlation in between the two? I'm sharing all my trades live on Wix Telegram. Real entries, real exits, real profits. If you're serious about trading, this is where you belong. Join here. Yeah, Wix, I've seen that they do a lot of advertising recently. This is a centralized exchange, from what I know. Is it? I think so. Let me check it. Let me check it here. Is Wix a centralized exchange? I'm fairly sure it is. I don't think it's a DEX, but I don't want to be saying giving you a false information. So I rather check it. It takes just a minute, and we've got time. I'm not rushing anywhere. I'm waiting for my 100 views here, and it's been 25 so far, and I live stream for 49 minutes. So I'm disappointed already that the YouTube platform is not giving me as much reach. It's not as generous with me as it was earlier today. Earlier today, I was shocked, honestly. Yes, Wix is a centralized cryptocurrency exchange. Yes, it operates through a central authority that manages trades, blah, blah, blah. In Singapore, okay, it's based in Singapore. Cool. There you go. Again, guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat. I will gladly give you my take on it. I'm not selling, locked in. Where the driver? Where did the driver go? Let me see. Okay, but let me turn off the sound because I don't want to have any copyright strikes. Oh damn! Oh damn! No, that was brutal. I hope the guy's fine. They write those things really, really fast. So something that normally does not look very threatening is, in their case, is bone crushing. Let me get this straight. JP Morgan will now allow institutional clients to use BTC as a collateral. That's a huge thing, to be honest. I was explaining it earlier today. It means you can literally borrow against your Bitcoin, like against the real estate. That's amazing. CZ pardoned by Trump. Yeah, I hope CZ will get back on chair of CEO of Binance. I think we all should be telling CZ to go for it. Crypto market structure period. This one I have no idea how harmful it is going to be. Hopefully not that much. Hong Kong approves first, so ETF. Yeah, that's true. So far, it hasn't changed much for Solana, but remember, it's not in Solana interest to be overly expensive because as a matter of fact, it's an infrastructure, right? So imagine Amazon becomes super expensive or Microsoft becomes super expensive. Who will want to use their services if those services are expensive, right? And Solana is a token created to interact with Solana network services. So if it's expensive, nobody will want to use it. Major institutions buying up billions. Yet crypto is down. TEF is going on. It's market makers, bro. Market makers. There are still people betting on derivatives markets, and that just gives them a very stable and constant source of income. So if you were in their place, you would be doing exactly the same. Because that's free money. That's free money. People that literally mathematically cannot win, they go and spend their money in that game. So it's ridiculous. When you know exactly how it works, it's mind blowing that people go and do it. Mind blowing. Documenting sale. Okay, let's skip this one. It's going to be slightly boring. When precisely did crypto shift from cypherpunk idealism to get rich quick scumbaggery? Well, very quickly. Very quickly. I think it was like first 2 years, maybe. Cantor Fitzgerald, this commodity on earth. They are shilling. This skyscraper in China did not collapse despite fires on almost every floor. So why did Nana suddenly collapse at free fall? Yeah, there's many theories about it. Justine, Andrew Tate exposes the sad reality behind being a billionaire. One of the saddest days is realizing you have everything you want. Really, I think the best way of dealing with it is go and help the others. There's so much things to do, and the world needs improvement. That's why I say Jesus is king, because that promotes the right set of values among people generally. I don't think there is any better ethical principles than those passed down by Jesus himself. Justine, Rumble to launch Bitcoin and crypto tipping feature for its 51 million users. Yeah, so as you see, I live stream on Rumble right here, right? Okay, this one is a scammer. I don't know why these guys they insist on writing that crap here. Of course, I will call them out. It's literally against their interest because now I spread awareness. You should never go to them and do whatever kind of interaction with them, make whatever kind of interaction with them, because probably they will either scam you or inject you some kind of a Trojan program or something like that. That strategy goes literally against their own business. So that's very unintelligent, to be honest. Very silly. But yeah, coming back to Rumble, of course, since I live stream on Rumble too, so I like it. I like the fact that eventually people will be able to tip me in Bitcoin. And let me tell you, whenever I get any tips, they will immediately go into this market. Whenever I get paid by live streaming platforms, it will be fueling up this market. I mean, I'm still not in the territory of those programs, right, where you get paid by the platforms, because you must have at least 1,000 subscribers, for example, on YouTube, and then certain amount of views of your short, certain amount of let's say watch time of your live streams. So I'm far away from that just yet, but you can already invest in it through this meme coin. Right? So you can be literally before it all happens. If you watched this guy, I don't remember how it's like penguins or something like that. Actually, allow me to check it. Just explain this guy here. This guy here. Voidzilla recorded something about him. I wonder what he said.
This is your brain when you're...
Sorry for that. I don't use ad blocks, as you see. Why? Because I don't think, if you're not bothered by the ads, and me, I definitely I don't have ADHD. I can wait 5 seconds for something to play. Absolutely no problem with that. And I want YouTube to exist, so I don't mind just muting the advertisement, and then watching my part. So yeah, I don't have ad block. And another thing is that you can easily install a malware, malicious software. So since I'm in crypto for 11 years, I avoid it as much as possible. So yeah, that is why whenever I open YouTube, you will see ads played here.
All over again for gamers. If you didn't know, one of the biggest digital economies just crashed almost 50% to $3 billion from an all-time high of about $6 billion. This is all because of a recent patch. You can see this line here just in free fall. We still don't know how bad the damage is. Penguin Zero 20 hours ago saying,
what, over $1 billion in Counter-Strike market cap lost over how?
$1 billion in market cap was
Penguinzo, I think that's how you pronounce it.
The damage is Penguin Zero 20 hours.
Okay, Penguin Zero. Okay, sorry. He actually said it and I repeated it wrong. Very well, High Tech. Bravo.
Saying $1 billion in market cap was lost. 9 hours ago, Atrioc made a video that says $2 billion.
By the way, I'm very happy that apparently my ISP has fixed the problem, because last 2 days, whenever I was live streaming at this time, it was cutting me off. The connection was breaking up. I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 times during 1 hour. That was very annoying.
Dollars is lost, and I'm making a video where $3 billion has been wiped out. So it's anyone's guess as to where it goes from here. But what we're talking about today is Counter-Strike 2, a popular shooter game where you have in-game cosmetics which have different levels of rarity. We covered all of this in a long 3-part series on my main channel where we exposed the underage gambling problem in Counter-Strike, but suffice to say, because of the in-game rarity, people have taken to speculating on the value of these items, and some of the rarest...
Alright, you know what, I got sidetracked, so... Penguin Zero, let's say. This is not what I wanted to show you, of course, but I just, I saw it and it appeared interesting to me. Okay, let's take a look at this channel. Sorry for that one, that was Polish. Am I on? Okay, I'm not on the Polish version of the channel, that's good. And where is it? I think that one was a video. Where was the video? I hope this video ages horribly. No, I don't think that was it. Ah, I'm not turning it back on. Okay, it was this one.
Streamers do through like Streamlabs for like text to speech stuff like that. So that doesn't include any of those other means of making.
So here, Penguin Zero is talking about disabling donations because he makes so much money from live streaming that he feels like it's completely unnecessary. And yeah, the numbers he displays are definitely very telling. And no wonder, he feels like it's annoying because, whenever someone tips you, they feel like you owe them something. And, if this guy, he made like $40 million in 4 years, I think. Am I right? Hold a second, let
money
me.
through the medium. This is
Right.
solely through just Twitch itself. And I think something important to mention, contrary to popular belief, the person who is actually working their ass
Here it was.
have made 30.
Yeah, $35 million from 2007 to 2025, right? $35 million, but it actually started on for real on August 2019, right? So that would be roughly 6 years, yeah, around 6 years, right? So shot loads of money, on average $6 million a year, more or less, right? Shot loads of money, and that excluding his other the other live stream platforms. That is excluding whatever deals he signed, with promoters and stuff. So that could be, I don't know, that could be close to 60 million, I suppose. So yeah, my ambition is to become very popular on all of live streaming platforms, and I'll be grinding it until I get it. I'm a very stubborn individual, so the kind of economy I'm creating here with the use of my meme coin is such that whatever I gain from what I do, I'll be reinvesting it in here, right? I'll be redirecting it in here. So just imagine, probably I will not get anywhere close earning this much as this guy because, what I do is quite a niche, let's say, crypto, right? Not everyone watches crypto content. Not everyone will like, what I talk about here, how I express myself. Some people will just not be able to bear with how bad my English is, for example. Probably a big chunk of YouTube viewers. But yeah, at some point it will definitely, bring some revenue, and that revenue will be redirected here. So when we try to consider, all of the speculation effects that it can cause, the speculative bubbles and such, including adding to the picture, let's say, some usability, which I also have already well thought. I think it's a very interesting proposition what I'm presenting here. So yeah, the link to how to acquire Hitech at this very, very early stage of the entire plan is in the description section of this live stream. So yeah, but like I said, don't go too crazy. It's just first days, the beginnings. There is no need to to overinvest and then later sweat over it unnecessarily. Try something small, $1, 2 or 3, let it sit, let it do its job, right? And then whatever I talk about here, whatever I do is to pump your bag of Hitech. So yeah, that's why I wanted to show it. I wanted to show it to you. But you know what? Since we are on YouTube already, let's take a look, because I also want to make it a part of the show. Let's also review what other crypto influencers say today and what do I think about it. Do I agree with them? Do I disagree with them? So if you have any suggestion of who we could let's say take under review, and then write it in the live chat. Me myself, I think I will start with Crypto, because this guy recently was here. First of all, I don't know if you know, but Crypto, he started a completely new channel. I don't know really what to think about it, which is like about health and I don't know, health stuff, let's say in general. I'm not sure entirely what to think about it. Does he think crypto? Maybe he got bored of crypto because he's running that channel. He's let's say a crypto personality for so long. Maybe he got a little bit bored of creating that type of content. But to be perfectly honest, he could stop long ago doing that. Maybe he's hedging a little bit, against crypto market. Like I said, I don't really know how to understand that he created another let's say YouTube channel of completely different type of content. I don't know if you have any ideas what stands behind it, then you let me know in the live chat, of course. But yeah, just judging by the titles. Okay, so, you know what? Let's take videos here because probably it will be much more organized here. Let's say in descending order by date. So he says the final boss fight today. Okay, big bump, then huge dump. Okay, so he's expecting rejection here. Bitcoin, oh no. Crypto, he loves to make it very, very dramatic, clickbaitish. He's German, by the way, so clickbaitish sounds specifically funny. Bitcoin urgent. I closed my 30 million trade. Was it long? Probably it was long. Bitcoin is gonna get worse, much worse. Yeah, you see. So he is sparking panic here. Trap. Bitcoin bear market if this breaks today. Yeah, you see. So seems like he is a little bit more on the bearish side. You know what? Let's listen to this one.
Today, for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency prices, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about Bitcoin today. Yes, we will talk about my trades
That is a huge screen, to be honest.
on Bitcoin, my $30 million trade, which
If you need a screen of this size to do whatever in the crypto market, I mean, you're overdoing it. You're really overdoing it. It's definitely not necessary to use screens that big, especially with virtual screens like I use, right? So it's very easy to set it up in whatever operating system you use. Like I used to work on macOS before, but then since I discovered you can have three fingers drag on Windows, like for example this I do with three fingers drag, which was like a deal breaker for me. That's why I stayed away from Windows for so long, because it did not have three fingers drag. Whenever I learned it already arrived to Windows, I was like, okay, I don't need Macs anymore, because that was the only thing that was holding me with macOS.
I took 75% in a profit, as most of you already know. I have
Okay, guys, you know what? Allow me to quickly check if there's anything in the live chat.
another altcoin trade open, but $10 million are still.
Please, but please,
to talk
please.
about that of my chess trade.
Let's go to the main thing.
From you, but there are always some people.
Okay, so as you see, what he has marked here is this cup and handle formation that already resolved its target.
Especially when I'm cautious, and I have
So now, as you hear, Chris becomes cautious.
been extremely cautious here recently. Many people get wiped out from these movements, especially during sideways phases. I get so much critique, but when I'm bullish all the time, which I was for the last,
All right, a keyword here. I
I don't know, like since I opened the trade, somewhere in November 2022, since here, well, then I don't get anything. But when at the all-time high I'm getting cautious, some people are complaining and I don't really understand. Anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin, right? Recently, I've reiterated on a prediction I made right here back then, where I
By the way, Chris is a very young guy. He's like 30, I think, by now.
predicted 100.
You know what? I'm going to ask Grok how old is he? Because I don't want to be giving you misinformation. How to say it? Fake information, disinformation, misinformation, disinformation. You know what I want to say. How old is Chris from Crypto? I think he's like 30 years old. Let me check it. Because Da Vinci, I think, is over 50 by now. Da Vinci J15. Da Vinci Jeremy. I'll be surprised if he's like 35. That would be surprising to me. Well, apparently it's a difficult one because it keeps thinking. 36, okay, so I'm surprised. And he's Christopher Jaszczynski. I knew he was of Polish origin. That is a very Polish last name. 36 years old. Okay, I thought he was like 30. All right, so he's slightly older. Okay. Then I give all the respect back.
123,000, and I just mentioned, well, 123,000 is exactly the level we reached. So there is a possibility that that has been it, especially because it's in alignment with my prediction I made in Singapore on January 29th. The video is still on my channel. Now the question is, what if not? What if I'm wrong? Well, if we are going over to my trades, you see, and this is something I want to get down to before I talk about my price target in the end of the video. I have set up myself in a way that I am fine with any scenario. And this is, we should, especially when we are among all-time highs, always be in a situation at. So my long-term holding portfolio, I hold it. I don't care about if Bitcoin goes down. It's a 10-20 year hedge. I'm since 8 years in Bitcoin, right? My trading portfolio, I deleveraged now at the all-time high. I in fact took 16 million US dollars into my realized profits, remaining only 10 million US.
Those numbers that he shows are very impressive, but remember, this guy has pushed many, like, okay, what is his following? 619,000 subscribers, right? And he promotes ref links to exchanges from day one, right? To trade derivatives, spot derivatives. So with that amount of following, he gets constant inflow, constant stream of very decent money. So he can afford to risk a lot, to risk it all. He can literally afford to risk whatever his net worth is, and within the next month, the next accounting, let's say, period, he's fine again. So that is why it's a very bad idea to try to recreate whatever he's doing, because he's not explaining you what is his standpoint. And if you think that your standpoint is the same as his, my God, you will be the most wrong person ever.
In my unrealized profits. So you need to understand, if we go higher, my hodling portfolio makes profits, and if we go higher, the unrealized profits go higher, and the realized profits, it is actually an inverse perpetual. So my profits, the realized profits, also go higher, even though I already took the profits. It's an inverse perpetual. and that's why I'm trading like this, right? However, what if we go down? First of all, I am not exposed to many altcoins. So if we go up, I already said I'm fine. I'm very happy with that. If we go down, I'm also happy because I am not exposed to altcoins. Bitcoin's downside is significantly smaller.
So you see, so he's discouraging you from owning altcoins. He says he doesn't have exposure to altcoins. And he sounds very uncertain about what could possibly happen, right? And this is a mainstream guy, right? Definitely mainstream. One of the biggest crypto influencers in this space, on the global arena. And this is a zero-sum game, right? Trading is a zero-sum game. The money you win comes from those that lose. That means there is a somewhat limited pool that can be a reward for whichever path you choose in this game. And the more people get it wrong, the better you're off, right? The better you do. And you know, whenever there is a widespread consensus among guys this big, knowing that simple rule, what is the mechanics of it? That it is a zero-sum game. It should, at least in theory, it should make you think that is probably not it, what this guy is saying here.
I already deleveraged my portfolio very significantly.
But let me tell you, like Chris, Da Vinci Jeremy, Carl from the Moon, those guys, they did not sell anywhere close to the top of 2021, and they were publicly disclosing that they regret it, right? They did regret they did not sell when they had the opportunity. They went down all the way from 2021 top to the very, very bottom of the bear market. So now these guys can be somewhat scared because probably, it was very hard to swallow, that huge reduction in their net worth. Probably they got a little bit scared at the time. What's next? When you take losses that big and that fast, because it was quite fast, you can start to doubt, what the real future of this market will be like. So I think that is exactly the thing that is kicking in right here. So Chris, he remembers the bull market of 2021, and now he does not want to commit the same mistake he's guilty of back then, right? So that's why now he's trying to time the top, which is okay to do, but it makes literally zero sense from geopolitical perspective. Let's say it's the geopolitical stuff is not as scary as they portrayed, to be honest. Forget about global world war; it will not happen. We will have a bunch of conflicts here and there. Unfortunately, close in my country probably too, because I'm from Poland. But highly likely not. It's not going to be a full-scale conflict, but my country is going to get involved in at least partially. And global TradFi is not up for a huge correction. It's going to switch over to stablecoins, to trading against stablecoins. That will give it a global liquidity. It will not be, the US stock market will not be limited to US market only anymore. We are literally standing in front of probably the best time for traders ever, because everything will transition into the blockchain, into the blockchain real, right? So I don't think Chris is really understanding the whole implication of it, and how you like what role US dollar has in it, right? US dollar will be probably used to make, you know, all of the rest aside from United States to hold the bag of you know, melting ice cubes. Meanwhile, you know, they'll probably create something, some alternative to US dollar that will be encouraging people um, to transition into, at the same time keeping the same, let's say, rules for US dollar that have been functioning so far, so with T-bills and, you know, obligations and stuff. So they'll literally make, you know, all of the rest of the world holding the bag that will be, at the end of the day, will turn out to be worth nothing in a few decades. But yeah, but that means literally there will be a period of everyone and everything escaping from US dollar, pumping immensely, creating the biggest speculative bubble of all time. And yeah, this is not the time to be scared of allocating into altcoins.
And now the question is, are we going lower? Are we going higher? And besides all of these quite cautious approaches I had recently, there is a bullish scenario I want to talk about, because we want to be prepared for both scenarios. I want to talk about it one time chart-wise.
Yeah, I think the easiest way, I mean, because Chris is shorting here, right? He has some short positions, or if he doesn't for real, then he will probably jump into one. Something that you should not do. You should not copy what this guy does, because as I said, he has a constant stream of money from Reflex. He has promoted for so many years. So he can afford to get liquidated. You probably cannot afford to get liquidated, right? So that's why just don't copy him.
Let me go into it here on the 4-hourly. When I would get cautious again, at least here towards bearish scenarios, is here. Number one on the 4-hourly, if we are breaking 113.
Let's take a look how my Bitcoin trade is doing. Probably it's slightly low because I see XRP is having a red 15 candle, 15-minute candle. Practically no difference.
1,000. If we break 113,000, we form a W, and then up we go. The price target would be somewhere around the levels of 120, 121,000, right? But eventually the level we need to break on the weekly candle, where I say, okay guys, lights out for all Bitcoin bears, it's gonna go up only for a few weeks, is when we break on a weekly candle 123,000. The price target I mentioned initially from the cup and handle pattern I predicted way back 1 year ago. 123,000, a weekly candle above. Now, is this going to happen? Well, let's talk about it. There's one chart which really caught my attention, and that's the chart where you plot Bitcoin against gold. Credits to this guy, I don't know who it is, but I'm just using his picture here because it makes it a little bit easier rather than me plotting it on TradingView myself. You can see here, this is the Bitcoin, this is the Bitcoin price, right? And this is very interesting to see, dear ladies and gentlemen. The Bitcoin price follows the gold price. So if we are looking at the crypto market, when Bitcoin tops out, goes sideways, downside to the downside, usually we have a trickle-down effect to altcoins. It didn't really work this time, right? But usually that's how it works. It works like—
Let me tell you, it will work. The reason why it hasn't worked yet is because most of retail switched over to trade on futures, right? Because they think, oh, okay, there's going to be an altcoin season. And it's obvious, because that's how, you know, retail thinks, that everything is obvious and there is no way they can lose money. So why would I trade 1-to-1 if I can trade 1-to-2, right? So get a double of that profit give myself, let's say, 50% of margin of error and gain twice as much instead of just buying the asset and we win with the ratio 1 to 1. So that immediately caused market makers to want to liquidate them, right? And then they kept betting on the same market where they stand no chance. Instead of going to spot, they kept betting on futures market. What created a huge incentive for market makers to maintain all of it inconsistent, right? Extinguish whatever really was occurring, and then pumping whatever let's say downtrend was taking place, and just they made it so choppy that it was untradeable from spot trader perspective. It was absolutely untradeable. If anybody made any money trading futures throughout last, I don't know, 2 years, they were simply lucky, right? Because it was for as of now, it has been very untradeable environment. But fortunately, that's just a certain era that can last only for so long, because at some point profitability on futures market ends because there is just too many people that got burned with it. They do not spend their money there anymore, and they switch over to spot. And then the only way of market makers making money on spot is they have to pump it. There is no other way. So since it has lasted for so long, all of that indecision in the altcoin market has been going on for so long that probably, I mean, the longer it lasts, the closer we are to a full transition back into spot market. And given what has happened on October 10th, probably we are already there, right? So that is why I keep saying all of the stars in the sky point towards a huge bull run on altcoins happening within days.
Like this also from gold to Bitcoin. So when gold tops out, like in 2016, it tops out first and then the money flows into Bitcoin, Bitcoin going higher after gold topping out. Same thing in 2020, middle of 2020. Gold topping out and then Bitcoin following thereafter. So what happened a few days ago? Gold was topping out. I mean, who knows, right? Gold can go higher. But so far,
it will go higher. All of it will go higher.
We can say if gold topped out,
but mainly because US dollar will depreciate. We already know about it. Jerome Powell already told us. Even inflation goes higher, they will not stop cutting rates. I mean, what do you think that will cause?
History rhymes. We can at least make this one scenario to a possibility that if gold tops out here, that Bitcoin should follow, at least in accordance to history. So don't get me wrong. I think we should be prepared for this bearish scenario, which is very possible to happen. But we should be prepared for both scenarios. Why not deleverage your portfolio? Why not take a...
You should never leverage your portfolio in the first place.
Less.
But if Chris were telling you not to use leverage at all, he would... if he were telling you not to ever leverage whatever, he would never be making the money he makes. Because whatever is impressive about, let's say, Chris or his lifestyle or whatever he does, he shows out off with is funded with ref links that point his subscribers to trade futures market with. So leverage market.
Risky approach by being in Bitcoin, by being a little bit less leveraged. Why not be good with both scenarios? Why always be greedy and try to maximize your profits? This is my message for today. Let me know what you think about that. And dear ladies and gentlemen, actually, before I forget about that, this is a quite important one.
By the way, this is a really weird room he's in.
Let me quickly get into it. Bada boom, bada bang, bada bum boom. Right here you can see it. I have actually Health is Wealth, a brand new health channel. I leave it
That's what I was talking about.
in the pin
I don't know why he created a channel like that. That's very, in my feeling, that's very weird, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I know Chris for so long already that it's the idea of him producing any other type of content seems a little bit off. Maybe I will get used to it over time. But yeah. Or maybe he tries to hedge. He tries to hedge whatever can go wrong with crypto. So he has, a little thing on the side. He safe bought, let's say, that kind of a stuff. Okay, let's take a look at maybe Da Vinci Jeremy, Da Vinci J15. This gentleman right here, 921,000 subscribers, as you see. This is the individual that was recommending you to buy Bitcoin in 2013, and he even was saying to people on this very YouTube channel that if you lose money, you know what he will cover. He will cover your losses if you lose money on Bitcoin investment. So yeah, he deserves the G badge. No doubt. Okay, let's say what he's saying here. Bitcoin and crypto bearish, but we can pump. So you see, cautious. The Bitcoin nightmare, no pump season for 7 years. I think he scares a little bit here. Will Bitcoin roll over and die? The moment of truth. Okay, that's 9 minutes 50 seconds. I think we can do this one, but let me turn off the sound for the advertisement. I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Like it's rolling over. Will it die? And will Bitcoin collapse below 103? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Trying to get to 100 views here on this live stream, and for whatever reason today, I mean, at this hour it is difficult. Earlier today it was very easy.
Afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Da Vinci Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in this world. Man, you know what? Bitcoin, whether it goes up or whether it goes down, it really doesn't matter. You should be saving it for the long term. Why? Because scarce in supply, right? It's the first type of
The scarcity of Bitcoin probably will not last, highly likely will not last forever. I'll be very surprised if in 10 years Bitcoin is same as scarce as it is today. Highly likely the hard cap will be taken off. Probably because of, I don't know, some sort of dissatisfaction of people, around the space. And there could be some, at the end of the day, it can turn out that, the economic model of Bitcoin is not really as perfect as it is believed. There's many ways it can get changed for plethora of reasons. Also because of external pressure. That is actually the most likely it will get changed because of external pressure, from government side, for example. Imagine, for example, governments want to create something somewhat similar to Bitcoin, but without hard cap, and then they fight against Bitcoin on let's say not on a regulatory line, but let's say from the back door, right? So introducing some new faces to the space that gain credibility and then sneak in the bad ideas. This actually already has happened, right? I mean, the core developer team, and they introduced a change that is in a very, I mean, way too apparent way harmful to the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And that is why it does not fly. But if they done it, if they had done it in a little bit more, let's say, reasonable way, it would have done a lot of damage.
Of money that, works like gravity. Absolute. No point in worrying about monetary policies, whether or not some sort of person in a room is going to change the interest rates or do this or do that, increase more money supply, or, really mess with the system. This is what our previous system, our current system is all about. But now we have a system that's fair and honest and actually allows people to save their wealth and not invest in something else. If you choose not to invest in the long term, you just want to frickin' save, you can do that. And then once you save, you know that money that you're going to use in the future will have more or equal value in the future. Look at that. That's bonus. That didn't happen unless you use gold.
Right, so we already know Da Vinci Jeremy believes long-term Bitcoin will do just fine. Probably later on he will be discussing the charts here and just warning us that maybe, just maybe, temporarily we'll have a little bit of a roller coaster as I know him. Yeah, as you see, guys, I don't have any ad block, so I know all of the ads.
What that
on
would
YouTube.
look like if we're going to enter the short somewhere around this entry level, the 103.
And also remember that Da Vinci Jeremy, he's the OG of the space. He had shitloads of Bitcoin. Or whenever he trades on futures market, he does it with very, very tiny amounts against his total net worth, liquid net worth. He also has promoted, let's say, spread a lot of reflinks. So he is, same as Crypto, he's making very, very decent amount of money every single day, every single week, every single month from those reflinks. So that is why Da Vinci Jeremy shorting the market is not you shorting the market, because he can afford to lose shitloads of money and he'll be fine. You probably not.
Let's see here. We have to go to the 114. I think we can get the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. As long as it's in that range, yes, perfect. That would be sustainable short to take.
The Daily says, appreciate your lesson. What do you say about Kaspa? Let me tell you. Let's take a look at Kaspa. I will generally say the same as I say about whatever other altcoin. I think everything will pump. But there was some story with Kaspa, I think. Or am I wrong? Was something going on with Kaspa recently? No. I remember why I have that assumption, because I saw somebody's comment on X, and that somebody was complaining big time when it comes to Kaspa. And to be honest, I have no idea how my algorithm behaved on this one. Oh, it actually has an entry signal. The exit was here. It was a tiny loss. No, sorry, I said wrong. Okay, so the entry was here. The exit was here before this big collapse. So it was a fake out. Fake outs happen, all over the place. That's very normal. Like I explain on my live streams on my channel very often, it's not the hit rate that you should be caring about, is the win-lose ratio, right? Because you can have fairly low hit rate. So let's say the number of trades that result in profit can be well below 50%, and you can still earn a very decent amount of money. In my case, it's like 30 to 40% of profitable trades. What does the job is win-lose ratio, right? The win-lose ratio must be proper. At least 3-1 is absolutely minimum. So it's literally what Da Vinci Jeremy is talking about right here in this material. In my case, it's 6-1, right? This algorithm here, it tries to hunt 6-1 win-lose ratio. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, looking at what has been going on this chart, it has been sold off this coin has been sold off very heavily. I like it, to be honest. I mean, Kaspa is not available on Binance, so I cannot trade it because my systems are designed for Binance. But yeah, if it was there, I would be trading it, to be honest. I'll be in that entry right now. And even if this one results in a fake out and the next one, 99.999% will give hundreds of percents of gains. Because, I mean, I'm sure the altcoin market is up for a very wild ride up. I'm absolutely sure of it. The only question I've got is how much longer we'll have to wait for it. Eventually, instead of, I don't know, a couple of days, it will be few days. And that's all that this market can fight it. Not any longer. Like, I don't know, 6-7 more days, that will be an absolute maximum. But to be honest, I think it will start sometime early next week. Fairly early. And as you see, guys, I already have a buy signal here. So yeah, you can give it that try. And remember, never go all in into whatever market. Never go all in. Always leave a little bit of dry powder on the side, just in case there is another dip. And you can make use of, make use of the opportunity that market presents to you. And never sell everything, because you never know how high that mother cracker is going to go. Always leave at least a little bit in a trade, because let's say you allocated, you scored a plus 100% pump, you left, let's say 20% in the trade. Even if the pump gives back everything that it just gave you, with that 20% melts to 10% of initial allocation. So instead of 100%, you just made 90%. That's a hefty profit anyway, right? So don't be overly greedy. Don't sell everything. Always leave a little bit, because oftentimes market will surprise you way beyond whatever you imagined, right? And then, thanks to that tiny part left in the train, you will be juicing it, right? You'll be juicing that opportunity. So yeah. Sideli says, smart answer. It's been answer, supported with 11 years of experience in this market, and with a lot of analysis. I try to have an approach of understanding things, not of just doing something blindly. I need to, whatever I do, I need a good answer why I'm doing it this way or the other way, right? And that is why I talk so much about market mechanics, right? Like where it all comes from, why certain things happen this way or the other way, right? I have that character that I need to understand it from the ground up, right? So yeah, let's listen to Da Vinci, what he says
So
here.
small, 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? A little bit over the 1-4.
And by the way, share, like, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it now, by the way. And don't forget about High Tech Meme Coin. This is the only project I promote here. I treat it as an indirect stock market of all of my social media. So whatever income sometime in the future I'll get from my social media, I'll be redirecting it here, right? That's kind of a deal in between me and holders of this meme coin. And because because of it, I think this is a totally new approach to how to let's say incentivized a YouTube channel, how to monetize it, how to monetize, let's say, influencers. Um, I think this is a totally new proposition of how to do business being a streamer, right? Having your own kind of, even if in indirect form, kind of a tokenized stock that allows you to monetize your live streaming activity very, very early on, before even the platforms are actually categorize you as somebody who qualifies, right? So and this is a very small market as of yet, just 663 holders so far. So this is very microscopic. The liquidity is 25Ks. So treat it as if it was its capitalization, very, very early days, right? So throw, I don't know, $1 at it, $2 at it, $3 at it, something small, something that can see it, something that we will not be overly nervous around, something that you can even forget about for a year or two. And usually, that kind of approach to investing turns out historically to be really good. So yeah,
So
let's
114K and
let's finish this one.
all the way down to the 107.7. So still within the range, and still a probability of getting a nice short off for your trade. So definitely worth making that trade. Alrighty, looking at Ethereum, downward trend there. I have a 4-hour downward trend line, which looks like we've got higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Yeah, that's good, right? I think we can probably do another higher low before we say, okay, let's go higher. So I would predict that. Same for Ethereum, but I'm going to hold off on making a trade there.
Okay, so saying we could make another higher low. So he takes under consideration, let's say that we can have a tiny dip before we go higher, right?
Looking at Solana, same thing, but a little bit, the higher lows are a little bit less high. And
but remember that generally speaking, Solana, it's not in Solana's interest to be expensive, because Solana, as a matter of fact, is infrastructure. So the more expensive Solana is, the less attractive it is. And Ethereum is actually the same thing. But Ethereum, because it's much more decentralized, so by nature it has to be more expensive, but it's definitely not in the best interest of Ethereum to be expensive. And I don't think people really understand it.
the angle of attack is very low. So
Bitcoin is completely other thing. Bitcoin aims, like by design, to be most expensive possible. Ethereum absolutely not. Solana absolutely not.
might be another result. But if we fail these levels, right? I mean, you can see we've drawn a line in the sand, the 175 on Solana. We either continue above the 175 or we die. Period. There is no coming back. If we get below the 175, you walk away.
Try this 8-minute.
Sorry for that, guys. But since I deal with cryptos, I'm not going to install any ad block. I don't want it to wake up, tomorrow with all of my wallets empty.
And there would be an end to Vihara.
We won't see any kind of results until we break above the $206 level clearly and decisively.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot, or I don't remember if I said it, but if any one of you wants to allocate into high tech, that proverbial $1, $2, or $3, there is a tutorial about how to do it in the description section of this live stream. It's very simple, very, very simple. And like I said, don't overinvest. Put something small, something light. I think it will work for you much better.
And to say, okay, we can get bullish again. Okay, that's it for Solana. Let's take a look one more time at the dominance. I really like the dominance the way it is right now, even though, you know, it did break 2 key levels here, right? 2 key up.
So the thing about Bitcoin dominance that most of those big crypto influencers completely don't get is that it has a zero trajectory. Like in free market environment, there won't be ever one single thing that will maintain its high dominance. It's sooner or later it will have to give, right? It will have to give away whatever dominance it had, and like this until zero, until it falls to zero. That's free market capitalism. That's the mechanics of it. That's the way it works.
Trends here, but I think we're still on track because we're right at,
To be honest, I don't know what Da Vinci thinks about Bitcoin dominance, so that's something new to me.
at the let's see, where was the 61.8 was? Where was the 60? Okay, we're not at that 61.8. We're at the 50% level, and oh, look at that! You see this level here? That was exactly. Now keep in mind, look at this. At the 60, what was it? The 60% level approximately. Let's just say 60%, so that we don't use like fractions of numbers and stuff like that. At that 60% level, let me just get rid of some of the noise here. You can see this was just a point. This line here, 60%, was just a point from here that I marked, and it was a key point on the way down. And you're like, well, the market traded that way. Do they manipulate? No, they can't. No. They don't do it that way. You don't manipulate markets that way. Priced against a large basket doesn't work that way. You can't do.
Yeah, it can work that way if there is if most of the volume happens on derivatives market, then then you can actually drive it into something like that.
Do it. Right? This is actual raw decision making of the public, reversing it at that level.
But let me tell you, Bitcoin dominance go against the wind. It goes against gravity and the wind at the same time. It's when I look at what is going on at Bitcoin dominance chart right now, I have it completely clear that we are not going to see another higher high on it. Not at this point. I mean, I think that the chance is lost. I could be wrong on it, of course, because I'm not a foreseer. I don't have a crystal ball. But, you know, after so many years staring at these things, after analyzing all of it, after understanding what rule set actually drives all of it, highly likely we will not see Bitcoin dominance coming above this local high here anymore ever. And I give it like literally 99% of probability it will not happen. I mean, the best case is I don't know with a week like this one here, if we have another Black Swan event. But I mean, how many Black Swan events we are going to get next to each other in such close, you know, such close time distance,
indicating that Bitcoin is the key asset to hold going forward. You have to hold some Bitcoin, right? And I recommend, right, that you hold some Bitcoin we do have a school for that, and I'm sure you've seen the advertisement of that school many times on this channel. And you need to be a part of this community. It is the community that's growing, and it's the only way you're going to actually save for the long term in Bitcoin is you join a community of savers.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long that one is going to be true, because this space is amazingly competitive. That's first. AI is growing like crazy. That speeds up progress in quantum computing, the biggest threat for Bitcoin. AI on its own is actually a threat for Bitcoin. Geopolitics is also a threat for Bitcoin, but not from infrastructure, let's say, side, or which is the one that everybody feels the most. That whenever they start to throw nukes at each other, internet will stop exist. That is out of the window already because of Starlink, so it will prevail. But because of I don't know, espionage, let's say, because of like dividing the world, if we fall into Cold War again, there will be Eastern Bloc and Western Bloc. Then probably Bitcoin is going to get forked. If it's going to get adopted by the West, as everybody expects, I guarantee you there will be its forked version on the East, right? And that will complicate things, because so far every single fork of Bitcoin was dying out, but when it's done this way, highly likely it will not die out anymore, and that allows to literally control being taken over Bitcoin, right? So either there's multiple angles of attack on Bitcoin, and literally making it walk away from the scene of value within the next 5 years, right? So like completely let's say disintegrating the perception of its value. It is possible, right? There's so many scenarios actually that could make it happen. We already avoided several of them throughout last 16 years. Bitcoin could actually lose all of its value like 4 times to what I know about. But we were lucky. We were really, really lucky. Bitcoin is where it is today. It was so like 4 times. It was really, really close for it to literally go to zero, right? And this scene and the whole crypto market, it could be so much smaller by now and so much less, let's say, serious by now, right? So it's not as easy. It's not as easy. It requires certain grade of ignorance to believe that it will stay for another 10 years. To be honest, that's not necessarily a bad thing,
That will help
because
you.
sometimes to be ignorant is good, so you don't overly stress about things that could happen but don't happen, right?
When you need it, to actually hold on to Bitcoin for that long term. That's a hard thing to do. Running a business is a hard thing to do, and you just have to do it in order to accomplish great things in your lives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, okay, let's end it here. All right, guys, I'll wrap it up right here. My goal was to score 100 views with this live stream. I don't know why. Apparently, I don't know, not enough of people are watching YouTube right now, because I got only 40, so much less exposure as earlier today. But yeah, it is what it is. 40 views not that bad, especially for channel this small. So share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Get yourself a little bit of high tech, because then you have skin in the game. Then you're invested in this live stream. And let's say I shield this bug literally for you. I refuse to shield you any ref links, but I know when you use them, you will get liquidated. I have completely different type of offer here, as you see. A totally new thing, totally new category. As I explained at the very beginning, I believe this carries the greatest potential of actually accomplishing something, right? Giving you an opportunity of getting something. So yeah, so thank you for your time, guys, and I see you sometime soon. Cheers.